gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And tonight, we have to talk about it. Gold, silver, cryptocurrency. Business as usual? Hardly. Investing your dollars now is going to be mandatory over the next 1 year, 7 months. Get in on the train or be left behind. And welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. Stop Struggling Now gear, the Army Edition. How apropos, because you're going to have to be out here working hard and slaying dragons. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, thank you so much for being here. I humbly appreciate it. And make sure you share the videos because there's a lot of people still sleepwalking out here, not realizing the damage that's being done by their government behind their backs. And they're just going through the motions. Why? Because they have to live paycheck to paycheck. So they're out here slaving away, trying to make sure they can provide for their family. And that is respectable. But unfortunately, it's not going to save you in the end if you don't make plans. Make sure you share the video so other people can find out what we're talking about. Understand that they are in jeopardy. Understand that the cost of living always rises. So if you think it costs a lot now, wait till 3 months from now. Wait till 6 months, 12 months. It's going to keep stacking on top. So we have to make more money. But you have to save more money and put it into some place where you can make money. Make some comments, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know that you're in the house. I know you could be anywhere, but again, make sure you let people know on the replay too. Make your comments known. Now, let's get to the start of one thing because we have our own Professor Auntie Val and family that has their coffee business. So why not show some love? Coffee and tea business. So, beachfrontjava.com, ladies and gentlemen. That's where you go get some premium blended coffee and whole bean, fine ground, drip ground, and Keurig, all of it. And tea, the healing tea, she has that as well. Not just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different varieties, but premium blended beans from where do they make the best beans in the world? African beans, Indonesian beans, Central American beans, South America beans. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. But what does that mean for you? SSN Nation. You guys need to know the promo code. SSN Lifestyle, all one word, all caps, wide, so you get a discount for life after your first order. So make an order today. Get a little sample, half-pound bags, up to 5-pound bags. But make some order and show some love for our own Professor Auntie Val and family. All right, that's how we're starting this off tonight. Because why? Let's just say things are in disarray all over the place. A lot of you have not downloaded your Robinhood, Webull, Moo apps so you can buy stocks, so you can even buy synthetic Bitcoin or Ethereum or Doge or Doggy Coin. But the point is, you have to be in the game, ladies and gentlemen. This thing about trying to be a drug dealer and putting your money in a safe and putting it in a warehouse and doing all these things, you should have a duffel bag of cash, but you should not be stacking it away in a bank, stacking it away in your wall, stacking it away in a safe where it's losing value every day. That's why gold, silver, and cryptocurrency is something else that you can turn to right now, although you're not going to have any money coming from it once you buy it, which is a problem because you need money to come in to pay bills. Let's just call it what it is. So therefore, you have to start making choices. You should have a little bit of this gold, silver, crypto. But for sure, you're going to have to invest or put your money into something that you know that you're going to have some money coming back next month. You can't just sit there and rely on your job anymore. You don't know if you're going to have a job. You know why I say that? Because a car dealer what did they just do today? Lay off 900 people? Those nice union wages, $50, $60, $70 an hour. Bye-bye. And you expect these 900 people to find a job that's going to be paying them as much as they're getting paid? No, but they're going to be happy trying to collect some of that unemployment money, which is fine. But when they're no longer collecting any unemployment funds, then what? It's very hard to go from making $50, $60, $70 an hour and then trying to be an ordinary citizen making $30 an hour or $25 an hour, the median wage of around $40,000 to $45,000 a year, when you have expenses of $45,000 to $50,000 per year. And this is why we have 80% of the population living paycheck to paycheck. But that's okay. We have solutions here, ladies and gentlemen. What are the solutions? The solutions are you are your own best business center. I know a lot of you out here watching are not very familiar with business, but you should be these days. This isn't like when I was coming up where there was a set standard. Most people had jobs because there was an abundance of jobs. So therefore, it was a risk to do your own business. Now, it's almost like you have to have what now people consider a second job, a side hustle. Now it's ordinary. But what isn't ordinary is still business. Businesses are very hard to run. The success rate is very, very low. So what do you have to do? Gold, silver, cryptocurrency, great. If they pop, it's great. If they go up a little bit, it's great. But that money is locked away in a vault unless you sell that item. So therefore, you need to generate more additional money. So we always talk about biz, buy, sell, right? But let me give a shout out to everybody here tonight who's in the Yield Max ETF, the Defiance Group's ETFs for their option income trading. I want to give a shout out to all of you guys because congratulations. Today, you got lit up with notifications from your brokerage account because dividends came out for Yield Max ETFs. Dividends came out for Defiance Group, IWMY for one. A lot of people are getting dividends today. And that is stocks, ladies and gentlemen. So again, I'm heavy on the stocks right now for dividends, and the stock market went down. So a lot of potential dollar cost average could happen. PSEC went down below its 52-week low. I know why. Because the debt situation. That's a problem. What are we going to do about it? That is a serious, serious problem. You know what? I have a serious problem right now because I'm trying to do something in the background while we're doing the video. And I can't believe that it came up a different way. I can't get it, even though I copied it already. But nonetheless, you're going to have to make some deals with yourself, with your family. This is not the one person work home environment any longer. It takes two. And in fact, I argue it takes two and a half. Where are you going to get the other half from? So that means your quality of life is going down. So therefore, you have to understand if it's going down, you have to make more money. But where are you going to be able to make more money at? Well, I always suggest biz buy sell. Go take over somebody's business that's already operating, that has revenue coming in. You make a deal with him, just give him some side money. So then you have a mentor also. And then you pay him from the profits because he already knows how much profits you make. And that way you can start a business that's already profitable. You can bring some money home. That's one way to do it, because you're going to have to be financially literate going forward. There's no way you can sit on the sideline and think just because you're making $70 per hour that you are not on the chopping block. In fact, let me just give you guys something to think about. All you graduates who graduated from college or are about to graduate from college in the next 2 months, did you ever think about how many other people are going to graduate from college next month alone, the next 2 months? I know. So if you start doing math does not lie and you look up, okay, how many jobs are actually going to be available in America this year? And if you start realizing that it could only be maybe 2 million jobs, or hold on, livable wage jobs. Let's change this up a bit. I shouldn't just say jobs anymore. We got to talk about livable wages versus a regular job. Livable wages is where people need to be. So how many livable wage jobs are there, and how many graduating students are there just this semester coming up? Never mind who graduated in the winter semester. Never mind who's going to graduate this upcoming winter semester of 2025. What about those that graduate in the winter semester in 2024? Those people haven't all found livable wage jobs. They had to settle, not all, a small percentage, which is still good enough, 20-30% have to settle for jobs that is not even in their major, and for those $20 to $30 an hour jobs, hoping that they can find something down the road, until they realize, well, after it's 6 months gone by, after 8 months gone by, after 10 months gone by, all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, I'm doing this job and I can't get my foot in the door. Well, it's hard to get your foot in the door, ladies and gentlemen, because I got to tell you the truth of the matter. If somebody's working at a job and they've been there for 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12, 15, 20 years, and knowing what the circumstances are now, why would a person leave that job? Why would they say, well, you know what, I'm going to retire? Let's get things straight. A lot of people wish they can retire, but a lot of people don't have the funds, or if they have the funds, they still have to make that money generate more money. So when you start thinking about what you need to do, gold, silver, cryptocurrency, that's a must right now. A serious must. You're going to have a little bit of it. I recommend a little. If you get an ounce here, an ounce there, it should be a small amount, because you can't carry this with you in time of emergency. All right. So you have to give it up. That safe is going to sit in your house if 20, 30 people come running by with weapons looking for stuff, right? You're not going to sit at your house and get killed. So you're going to leave that. You're going to take whatever you need and roll out. So let's get real with this nonsense. All right. So that's why we always talk about duffel bags of cash, storage facilities outside, putting things in places that nobody's going to find. In case of emergency, you can go get it. Those are the type of things that you need to consider in this day and age. I'm hoping. Yeah, I'm having a little problem here in the background. I'm expecting a phone call today. I got to tell you guys, things are getting very drastic out here. It's getting very, very crazy. I'm going to tell you a little story, because Friday nights are story nights, but this story is brand new. It just happened today. So we have a reservation, and there's a thing called Bottle Rock in Napa. So can you imagine calling the homeowners association and saying, hey, do you have a room at this resort in Napa? They say, oh, by the way, yeah, we have a couple of rooms. And then they make the reservation. All official is normal, just like if you called a hotel and made a reservation and you paid. It's all normal, right? You're like, okay, I got a confirmation number. I'll be there anytime after 4 p.m. or whatever. Can you imagine somebody showing up and they're saying, I'm sorry, we're overbooked. We're not going to accept the reservation. Now, you understand hotels do this all the time, right? But then they'll say, oh, well, since we can't accommodate you here, you have to go to our sister property, right? Today is the first time that I've heard of anything when a person showed up and they said, we're not going to count your reservation. We didn't have availability. I'm like, is this a joke right now? They literally are calling up people who have reservations to tell them their reservation is not valid, even though it was booked through the HOA ownership department. This isn't like some third party booking app or something. This is actually from ownership. I'm like, wait a minute. Is this what's they're moving to a whole nother level by doing this? I couldn't believe it. I was like, excuse me? What are you saying right now? And by the way, I was watching the Tom Cruise Mission Impossible movie today. That's when I got the call near the end, and I was like on the phone. The people like shh, shh, and I thought I was shh because I was in the movie because I saw this 800 number calling me like 3 times, and I was like, what's this 888 number? I don't even know who it is. So when I first saw it, I was like, it's got to be some scam. I don't know what that number is. Second time it comes through, I'm like, oh, wait, okay, let me see. Third time, and that's when this lady's on the phone saying, no, we're not going to honor this reservation that you have for the person. The person's at the front desk. I'm like, what are you talking about? Right? I couldn't believe my ears. If this is what's going on out here, oh my God, this is getting scary because talk about everybody trying to maximize their money. Mr. Compensation out here. I'm trying to get him to maximize his money. That's why his name is Mr. Compensation. You can check him out here on YouTube. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. And he brings this tagline, let's go. That's what we have to do all the time. You have to do it too, Mr. Compensation. Go over there and do the lives, do the videos. You the man, you know what to do. Come out of that shell, man. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting, man. Come on, you a superstar. Show it. Quit hiding it, man. You've been hiding it long enough. All right. I got to always get on you about that, man. You're a stone cold superstar. And still, you're young enough. So just bust out, man. Don't be shy. But I like what you're doing with the guest, and I've seen a few things. So that's a great thing that you're out there doing, man. So go over there, show some love at Mr. Compensation's channel. Click the all notification bell, just like you would do here at the SSN Nation. All right. So what's been happening today is outrageous in well, in the world. Trump calls for 50% tariff on EU. So what do you think the stocks did today? The stock market's like, oh no, here we go again. And then he says not looking for a deal with the bloc. I'm just like, man, this dude done lost his mind. He's taking on our allies, not enemies. He just tells Putin and North Korea, 10% tariff. But he goes against our allies and says, F you, 50% tariff. I'm sure they're going to love that. I'm sure they're going to love that, American citizens. American citizens, we're effed with this fool. We're effed because the world is going to be against us like it's 1820s, like it's 1890s, like it's 1920s. They're going to do, because that's when America did all this tariff nonsense. It's like there's a playbook already, ladies and gentlemen. You know what happened on all three instances that some foolish president tried this tariff thing? Congratulations. Great recessions every time, and then the Great Depression after the second one. Now, we already had Great Recession in 2007, 8, 9. Then we had a downfall after this first time he did this tariff nonsense, but this time he's going all out. He's doing like Grover Cleveland stuff. Everybody gets it. And the rest of the world's just like mocking this because they're realizing America is a declining empire. They're like, you guys don't make nothing. You don't do nothing. You talking a lot of garbage, but we can just order directly from China ourselves. What do we need to get stuff from you for? And in fact, we make stuff in our own country. So we can bypass you. We'll just get it from Canada and Mexico and China and everybody else but you. You don't make nothing. So you guys can sit there and have your companies try to sell stuff to us. And then we'll have a tariff against them. So now your company's not going to be able to sell that much. So therefore, they're going to have to lay people off. Nice paying job people off. Livable wage people jobs off. Just like what happened today. Just like this America First thing says Trump clears Nippon merger with US Steel. You know Nippon's from Japan, right? Why are they merging with US Steel? Anybody? This is a global world. US Steel doesn't get the sales done. Nippon, they're doing well. Right? So Nippon gets to come in and get a piece of the US steel industry. So if there's ever a revival of US steel industry in America, Nippon's here. It ain't America only. So that again defies exactly what's supposed to happen. All this is bad news. But here we go. Why investors are calling Trump's bluff on 50% tariffs on the European Union. You know why? Because every time he says something crazy like this, he goes, I'm going to do a pause. That's what he does every time. I mean, he's 2 for 2 so far. Liberation Day, but a pause. Day one, tariff stuff, but a pause. So now we're at 50% and not looking for a deal. And you know what they're saying? They're like, okay, we sell our products everywhere but you. But if you guys don't want to buy from us, fine, because we're not going to sell there with our everything that's going to be sold to the United States citizens is going to be 50% more. And obviously, we're not going to be selling much. So why don't we just sell to the rest of the world and who cares? And by the way, don't be trying to sell to our country either. So that's how it works, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, says Mr. Compensation. Thank you for being here, man. Greatly appreciate it. XAU USD went to the moon today. Thank you for that, man. Cryptocurrency. Hit that like button. Smash the like button. It's free, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Once again, it is Friday night, financial literacy night, financial education night, financial freedom night, financial independence night. It's always this. You have 1 year, 7 months to go. And in about a week, you're going to have 1 year, 6 months to go to get your credit in order, your finances in order, your liabilities in order. And by the way, liabilities are going to be a very, very bad problem. If you have credit cards, you're not going to be able to pay them off because of what's happening right now. Your interest rates are going to go up. All right. That's the number one. You already can't pay it off unless you have great credit and you only have that 1% or 2%, interest rate or zero. But 27, 25, 37, 39, you can't pay it off. The longer you hold it, the more you're going to owe. So therefore, you're in an endless debt cycle. That's right where they want you. Because if you can't buy assets, that means the top 10 percenters who have the available money, they can buy assets. So you don't get to interfere with their program, nor are you going to be able to save yourself when the next hammer drops. 1 year, 7 months is what you have. Get your credit in order. 775, that's your magic number. And down below in the description box, hey, let's see, do we have it down there? Yeah, we have everything down there to help you. The smart credit, the national credit, we have Resolve Finance. You can hit up Tracy at Resolve Finance if you need debt resolution in 2 years or less. She can help you. She loves helping people. She's part of the SSN Nation, ladies and gentlemen, helping people. That's what we try to do to get you guys out of a jam. That's one way to get out of a jam. You'll have bad credit for 2 years, but your debt will be cleared up. Your credit will be cleared up. You'll be back to the road of success for that 775, because on the backside of this, those people with great credit are the ones that they're going to be offering crazy deals for. 18 months, 0%, 24 months, 0%, book it. 2027 ish, somewhere there, 2027, 2028. Because people aren't going to be able to buy because they're living paycheck to paycheck. So they have to only give them credit, but they're not going to give credit to somebody that has a 620s unless you want to pay high interest. But that's why you need that 775 because then you'll have the magic ticket. All right. And you need to continue to make more money if possible. Study, do the right thing, and hit that like button here and at Mr. Compensation's website. Also, once again, have to always talk about the obvious. What else is happening? I'm going by CNBC, and because of the steel situation, that's crazy. Um, they're talking. What else are we talking about today? Oh, this thing about our government against corporations from America. Trump says Apple must pay a 25% tariff on iPhones not made in the US. Well, they don't just make phones in China. They make phones in other areas and get parts and everything from other areas. So he's going to make a company that makes money in the US that the United States gives subsidies to. He's taxpayers gives, oh my God, this is crazy. They give tax cuts and tax breaks to. He's sitting here saying, oh, well, you're going to pay 25% more for bringing your phones here. And I find that very, very interesting and very, very dangerous. Because what I would say is the funniest thing is because Apple is a USA company, they act like a USA company. But if I was Apple, I find it very, very, very hard to sit here and spend hundreds of millions of dollars in the United States when your brand is worldwide and your brand is in America. I would find it very, very hard to not just say, F it. I'll just have all my phones made for $350 outside of the US and then charge me 50% more. It does not matter because the phone is still going to cost the American consumers at a wholesale price of around $600, but we want to make profit, so I'll still sell the freaking phone for freaking $1,500. Why don't I don't even understand this. Because if I'm them, an American company, and they start talking to me like this, I'm like, well, then why am I going to make my phones here where I got to pay people livable wages or decent wages? This doesn't even make any sense. I'd be gone. I'd be like, all right, man, I'll have my phones made in India, Vietnam, China for $350 or less, and then charge the American consumers. You add the 25%. Okay, great. The consumers are paying it. It's great. It doesn't no skin off my back. I'm still going to sell millions of phones. I'm like, this is crazy to me. And I make all the money outside the US, so I don't have to pay any tax because I'll just keep the money offshore. I mean, this is like ludicrous to me. But okay, I'm just one of them guys that would have already called this BS. I'd have been like, dudes, all right, we divest ourselves. We'll just have everything made outside the US. Charge me the 25% tariffs. Fine. And I sell $2,000 phones anyhow, so they'll buy them and they'll buy whatever else I got. I got a brand. I mean, this is crazy to me. Let me know what you guys think. All right, Boeing Justice Department reached deal to avoid prosecution over deadly 737. Oh my God. So those deadly crashes, Boeing gets off the hook. They reach a deal. Nobody's going to jail. Wow. Hey, there's something very interesting that came up on CNBC tonight, by the way. This is all a subset of what I need to talk about because we talk about the 10-year yield is at 4.51. And in case anybody doesn't understand, this is how America prints money when other countries invest. They buy their treasuries, or when USA citizens invest in treasuries. That's how they print more money out of thin air. But you have to pay the 4.51% interest every year. $100, $4.51 in interest. Where's that $451 of interest going to come from, taxpayers? All right. So anyhow, here's what's happening. One analyst estimates that the labor cost alone an iPhone made in the U.S. costs 25% more than it does now. Another analyst says $3,500. Now that's ludicrous. Come on now, man. That's ludicrous. But that proves my point. My point is, I'll just make them outside the country, and if it costs me even $400 outside the country, which it won't, then I'll just take your 25%. So what? 1/4, $750. I'm still going to sell the phone for $2,000 to you, $1,500, and I keep the money outside the country. Never have to pay taxes. I'm not following the game plan here from this administration, nor am I following the game plan from Apple. I'm like, why are you wasting all this money in the U.S.? This is crazy. You should just have a little headquarters here. I mean, so you can bribe the, senators and Congress people. That's about it. There's no other reason. This is crazy. All right. Apple makes more than 80% of its products in China, just so you guys know. Made in USA, they don't have the workforce. They don't have the manufacturing facility. They'd have to be importing the parts, yada, yada, yada. It's the same stuff, man. That's why I'm like, man, F it. Just have it made outside and import. Then what comes next is they have to ban you. But then I just say, okay, we'll just go with Huawei. Huawei doesn't have none of the U.S. market, but they're the second most sales in mobile phones right now. Imagine if they had the U.S. market. They'd be number one. Not Apple, not Samsung. It'd be Huawei. Crazy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, keep these things in your head. I'm not going to be on here long tonight, but I just have to say gold, silver, precious metals, cryptocurrency, you have to have a little bit of it. And make sure the hunting season is going to start because cryptocurrency started rising again. So protect yourself, protect your wallets, protect your information. Do not give out your keys to anybody. When somebody says, I'm trying to help you, but I need your keys, that's a real sign they're a scammer. All right. Don't do it. Do not do it. All right. That's plain and simple. So just keep in mind, Bitcoin, BTC, ETH, Ethereum, ETH. Those are the main two we've been talking about for over a year and almost 2 years now that time is flying, to get. Those are the wise ones to get, and they've been doing very well. If you like your 25, 30, 40% increases every year in price just by holding it because other people are buying it is pretty sweet. Gold, silver is going to keep rising due to inflationary situations. So what else can we do? Well, it's very simple. Investing your dollars now is the only way to go because we're out here doing the salsa dance after the bing, 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 bing. And by the way, it's another week. And I told you guys every now and then, every week, and I have to keep my phone on me because of what they did at the resort today. I'm afraid they might try and do that to my other guests that's arriving and tell them they don't have a reservation either without any help. And just so you guys have to understand how bad this was, the guest, was sitting in his car, and he was looking for a place. To give you guys an idea, what he tells me, he saw $2,100 tonight per night, not for the next 3 days, per night. He was thinking, obviously, what the frick? Of course, I'm not charging nobody that crazy number. I'm not even half of that number. In fact, his whole stay is less than that number. No, we're trying to help people. We're not out here trying to rob people. Although I could charge another $200 or $300 per night, if but I don't want to because now we're starting to get crazy. $800 a night, $900 a night for a 1-bedroom. That's crazy, right? So this is why you have to think about what's going to happen in the future. Price gouging, taking advantage of buyers, you have to protect yourself. And that means you have to reduce your expenses. And that also means you have to make more money, no matter what. You might be comfortable. And I keep forgetting to give this number out. I just have to remind everybody, if you get retired at 55, 60, 65, whatever, and you may live another 20 years. If you had $1 million, that means $50,000 a year is what you would have to live on. In 2020, I'll see 2005, when somebody, retired, they were fine. Homes were 100,000. They had $1 million. They bought $150,000 to $200,000 home, and they're doing nice. The house was about 2,000 to 2,500 square feet. Comfortable neighborhood, nice neighborhood. Their insurance was in the hundreds annually. Their taxes were like a couple thousand at worst, and everything's fine. Cars are reasonable. Everything's fine. But imagine being 62 in 2005, and then 15 years later, you have a pandemic, cost of living rises, your taxes double, your insurance triples, your all that money that you thought you had enough to live on, all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, an extra 2,000 for my insurance, or 3,000, an extra 2 or 3,000 now, because my home, instead of it being 150 to 200, is now worth 450 to 600. And now my taxes are 4 and 5 grand. All of a sudden you're paying an extra like 7 to 10 grand that you did not anticipate annually. And energy's gone up, gas has gone up to get around, everything's gone up. So that 50,000 a year that you were thinking you were taking out, living the good life, that could be over. Because every year it's another like a couple $1,000s more. And there's no coming back. So now it's very hard to be 75 to 80. What, you're going out of here and getting a job? Well, you guys look around. There is a lot of people 70 to 85 who's saying, I'll work anywhere. They need to make ends meet as well. Therefore, getting old and having investments and getting old and having your business is number one. You have to continue to be involved and have a business. You want to know something else? Colonel Sanders, 65 years old, I think, when he did his Kentucky Fried Chicken thing, right? That's it. They can't work, man. Exactly. And quite frankly, the other part is, because of the food and the bad water and chemicals in the ground and things like this, these older people are having health issues, which is another thing. They have to pay for insulins. They have to pay for dialysis. They're getting their Medicaid, the Medicare cut. There's not enough funding. Scary out here, ladies and gentlemen. Scary. Yep, they want to. That's it, man. That's exactly right. That's because it's a natural thing. They're like, I'm making, I have to make ends meet, so it's only natural. I'm 70 years old. Let me come out here and do something. I mean, if I'll greet people, I'll do cashiering, something where I can make an additional whatever, $15 an hour. At least that brings some money in. I'll work 4 hours a day. At least that extra 200 a week, that'll be good for us. Another $1,000 a month will be good for us. And now you have states that said, Florida, Arkansas says we'll hire, we can hire kids again to work, not go to school. 8 years, 9 years, 10 years old, and they can go work. I'm just like, man, this is bad. So if you're sitting around thinking that everything's going to be fine, I got bad news for you. My mom's, Exactly. Insurance, hospital bills. Exactly. I'm watching it go down. Exactly, man. Damn, I'm sorry to hear this. This is exactly how it is, man. Mr. Compensation, you have it going on with your fam. You know what I'm talking about. I just had my brother went to the hospital last year. He passed away January. I just had somebody call just 2 days ago talking about, hey, we're still trying to get the funding for him so the hospital can get paid. They didn't know he passed away. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Brian P., I know you were smiling all the way to the bank today with the bing, 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 and some great Yield Max ETF payouts. The pellet wasn't Pelletier. Was it Pelletier? No, Pelletier. NVDY, awesome payouts is one of them. There's several awesome payouts today. $1.97. I think that was FGY per share. I mean, we're talking big time, ladies and gentlemen. Just in this particular payout, 1.5%. Crazy. That's the average, 4.5% per month. I don't have 20 like EV plays, not that. But I'll take 4.5% monthly return with dividends, meaning money's coming in, which now means you can either reinvest it or distribute it or buy or keep it or use it to buy something nice. But the point is, 4.5% per month, ladies and gentlemen, for me, I'm happy. And that even includes stocks like the NVIDIA that does not give dividends. So the beauty of that is when it melted down under $100, you should have been buying. It's now at 131. So now you know you're positive if you bought it under 100 and it's 131, $30 per share. Those aren't dividends. So we're not counting that type of stuff, right? So pretty good to have portfolio that gets you 4.5% in dividends over all your whole portfolio. That is sick per month. That's when I'm at this month so far. But see, here's the thing. There's 5 Fridays in this month. So there's another month where there's 5 Fridays. And that's how you get 52 weeks a year because there's only 12. There's 4 months actually. So this month is actually going to be a higher percentage because there's another week. But we're at 4.5 right now, which is awesome. And so I count it like a month because it's four weeks. But there's going to be a 5th week, so it's actually going to be higher than 4.5, which is incredible for the month of May. So we're probably going to be at 6% for this month. So 4 months might be 6%. So at the end of the year, over a 50% return, who can bitch? And it's liquid. You can't bitch, ladies and gentlemen. That's why you got to be in the stock market game. Once again, get your free shares of stock from Robinhood and Webull. The links are down below. Uh-oh. Nope, this isn't who I thought it was. Oh, man, hold on. Abraham, I guess you're not watching the live stream, man. I'm on the live stream. I gotta send him a message now. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I know you were doing the salsa dance. We got paid today. You're damn right, man. It was very, very nice. What are we talking about? Yield Max ETFs? Go look it up. NVDY, PLTY, ULTY, YMAG, YMAX, ULTY. I think I already said that. IWMY, which is another Defiance group. Let me see. Who else am I missing out on? ORDTE. ORDT. Yeah, that's right. Weekly payouts, then monthly payouts as well. GDXY, which is a gold miner stock. LFGY, which also is weekly. NVDY is a monthly. PLTY is a monthly. I'm trying to think of all the ones. There's several, but I mean, there's just too many to name, ladies and gentlemen. You got to get on the bandwagon. All right. Yes, sir. My condolences. Thank you, man. Thank you. Brian P says, yes, sir. We're getting that ding, ding, ding. Bing, 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 boom. That's how we got to do it. You got to take advantage right now. This is not for the faint at heart because the stock market drops. I love it when it drops and your dividends are going to reinvest at a lower price. I love that. That's what I love. So as long as they're giving out dividends, now we have to be very, very cognizant if something catastrophic happens. But so far, nothing catastrophic can happen because it's just tariffs. Now, as long as the Fed is on board to reduce the federal funds rate in about 2 months, I'm expecting 0.25, that kind of may keep things even keel. But if we start having corporations laying people off and bailing out and doing crazy stuff, and all of a sudden we have this tax bill that gets passed, man, we could have a meltdown, and you got to make sure you have a duffel bag of cash ready because you're going to have to buy when we have the next meltdown. All right? Just keep your pockets ready, ladies and gentlemen. Stay ready, be ready. No excuses this time again. You have another chance. It's going to come up because he's messing around with the EU. Can't leave it alone. All right. So, since we're out here doing the salsa dance, and since it's Friday night, make sure you go down below and get all the tools necessary. You want to build your credit up, have credit monitoring system. That's basically one of the best ones on the market, Smart Credit. The link is down below in the description box. You want to build up your credit. There's Credit Strong, there's self credit. There's a way, even if you have bad credit, to get newer credit that reports every month. You want something that's reporting positive credit every month. That's basically what you want to get done. So you can do that. All right. Credit Strong is still in the play. Self credit still in play. You can actually morph it into a self funded credit card. So now you'll have another resource that's funding and posting online, that you're making online payments, and have a credit line. So that helps your credit out. So there's ways to rebuild. And you can go see Tracy at resolvefinance.com. Email her, Tracy at resolvefinance, TRACY, and let her know the fam sent you, SSN Nation. All right. Okay, let's go. I'm not going to talk about much more. If there's something you guys want to discuss, let me know. One other thing I want to discuss that I have to, we have a lot of people who invested in real estate and in Punta Cana. And we were talking, and this is very sad for me, simply because I love that project. And I just, I think it's one of the coolest concepts there was. It was so fascinating. Um, Let me see if I can pull something up that's just straight out disturbing. And the disturbing part, and this right here, um, I don't know if I can show this. Here we go. This right here is a new Larimar image, and you can see that boardwalk that had the white line through it was supposed to be stores that you walk all along the place and see them at the very far end. It looks like there's trees there. That's a golf course now, a 9-hole golf course. And I don't see what's going on. The buildings, you see all those clusters that's on the boardwalk area, which supposed to be like hotels, I guess. I don't know. They're like restaurant. They're calling them beach clubs. I'm like, okay, but it was really supposed to be a wonderland, like a tiki bar was supposed to be out here. There was supposed to be open areas with man-made beaches with a wave type pool thing happening in one of them. I mean, it was supposed to be this like cool spot. And it appears that they're just putting beach clubs, which what's a beach club when you have no beach? You're putting a pool, um, and lounge chairs, and then have a restaurant or a cafe there, and then lining them up and that's nothing. I mean, and you're going to have people come, I don't know how far, but 10 to 15 kilometers from the real beach, when you could be at the real beach and be at the beach club. So I find that a very interesting concept. I like the other one better, where you had shops, stores, restaurants, and all that was going to be as you walk along the Farallon. and then you had your own owner's lounge area on one level and then down below and all that. So I'm like, I'm finding this, I'm underwhelmed because that's not what we were talking about here. I'd rather see a sports complex out back with some, basketball, baseball fields, as was discussed, or a baseball field, basketball, pickleball, tennis courts. I'd rather see that. That's different, right? Because the only other place that's going to have something like that is Vista Cana. That's going to have a whole bunch of things. Allegedly, was going to have that. They haven't shown much of that lately, but still, I'd rather see that. I don't want to see beach clubs. All right. Hey, Eric, check your emails. All right, man. Will do. I see you, AM Global Enterprise. Thank you so much. KDVO is a new one. I just signed up to increase and report good credit on your profile. KOVO is a new one. I just signed up. All right. I don't know about KOVO, AM Global. Thank you so much, man, for mentioning that. I'll have to go check that out. That sounds very, very interesting. Anything that can help people, because it's going to be needed. We have an all-time record high with credit card debt. So people need help out here. And unfortunately, you can't credit your way out of it because you have to pay the credit back. So if you're already on the verge of living paycheck to paycheck, you just basically have to stop with the credit. You can't use it. You can't utilize it. You just got to keep trying to pay it down bit by bit, faster and faster, like a snowball going uphill, pushing back uphill. You have to keep, that's like you're paying it back, but it gets harder and harder because you need to use it, because 80% of the population is living paycheck to paycheck during the month. So one of the weeks during the month, you're like, I'm a little short. So what's wrong with me adding like $100? And then you're like, well, I can't pay even the $100. So I'm just going to pay my minimum. Your minimum might be 70 or 60 or 50. And then you still owe that remaining amount that's getting interest charges on top of it. So that $100 is now going to cost you $130, $140 in return. The mob loves that type of situation, right? Where they can't pay it back. So therefore, I can just keep stringing you along, right? So that's what we're talking about here, ladies and gentlemen. Making sure you got your cryptocurrency in order, you have your gold, a little bit of silver in order, and then you're still buying the stocks, and make sure you get those dividend stocks right now, because at least you get some return. As long as the company's giving out their dividends, you're getting a return on your money. That's better than nothing. That duffel bag of cash that you should have is getting no return for you. In fact, it's getting devalued every day. So that's not a good thing. All right. Man. Now, let me see something real quick, because we're going to wrap this up shortly. I'm not going to be on too long, but I do want to see, because oftentimes, some of these, Brian P., Mr. Dividend, when you did send me these emails, man, I sit there and I'm watching this stuff and I'm just like, I can't take it where I see another CEO of a bank steals money and then he gets a fine and that's it. I can't keep seeing this, man. This is crazy. I can't keep seeing where people are just doing filthy stuff, these corporations, and all they're getting is a fine. Nobody's going to jail, nothing. It's kind of wild. People doing all this wrong out here. I mean, the criminals are running the asylum. It's insane. Let me see if I can get in. Because normally I have to do some crazy. Yep, here we go again. They're still making me do crazy. Oh, man, this is disgusting. There's some app somewhere. Let me go look. Is it a Microsoft app? Authenticator? Let me go see if it's an authenticator. I don't think so. Swipe down. Okay. I can't use my... Wait, hold on. Let's see. Is this a... Wait, no, this isn't it. See, this is what I'm saying. Oh, wait, got something. Oh, we got it. I can finally go in. Brian P. Looks like something showed up today. Something showed up today. Okay, so what's happening? Let me in. Finally, it worked. I got notification for authenticating. This is rare. Let's see if it lets me go in. So we'll have some more to talk about. Somebody's going to get me hot out here, I know. All right. AM Global says, you have any information on life insurance policies? No, I don't. Starting to research it more to have some reserves and eventually pull out my own loan to invest in other venues. I'm not a big fan when people say that they can borrow money from their life insurance, because generally you have to put money in. So it's going to take you time to build it up to where you have this cash value amount that you can borrow against. And the thing about borrowing at 0% is generally not true as well. So they market it that way when in fact they shouldn't even be trying to market it that way. So just pay attention, read the fine print, and see how long it's going to take you to get to cash value. And by the way, the 4% or whatever they're going to 3%, whatever you get from that, maybe you're not hearing me, AM Global. There's a person here named EV Place that has made 20% on his money in 1 month. In fact, 21%, because he's invested in dividends in 1 month. And they're high risk, high rewards, I would say, but it's Yield Max ETFs mostly. And I was saying right now I have a 4.5%, but I just don't do Yield Max. I have to do, Nvidia and other stocks that are up there, that do not give out dividends. So I'd rather have those, 5-star stocks, and they just work their way up on average around 9 to 10% a year, and then still have dividends as well. So appreciate your wisdom. Always curious to hear the different points of views. Yeah. Again, I have no problem with it because you be your own bank. But the problem I have is then just make it your own bank, because you can go to JEPI, which is a JP Morgan ETF, and a JEPQ, and at least you're going to get 10%. Well, JEPI is probably at 9% right now. JEPQ is going to be around 13% or 12% right now. So if you invested, like, I'll give an example. Let's just say you bought $1,000. Well, you needed $1,000 to start your policy, right? And you had to pay, I don't know, $400 a month. Well, if that's what you were going to do, and you're going to add $4,000, your account's going to be $5,500, right? At the end of the year, the $5,500 is going to earn you 13%, right? Okay, so 5,000, 13%. So we'll start after it's done, but along the way you're going to be earning money too. But we'll just start at the end. We'll go 1 year, 5,000, 13%. So you're going to have, for the following year, a check coming in every 3 months, 1/4 of 13%. And you're still liquid. So the thing is, you could turn around and go, oh, well, let's see, what am I going to do? I'll let people borrow from me using that. That's possible. But then you'll do what Elon Musk does. You'll just say, all right, give me a loan against my stuff, my portfolio. And then they say, oh, well, we're going to charge you 4%. You go, well, I earned 13.8, 13.7. Okay, great. Not all of it, though, 10, 20%. But the point I'm trying to make is you have other options where you control the whole thing. It's not locked in some insurance policy, because eventually they make rules that you're going to have to abide by. So all these guys that do that banking, what do you call that, velocity banking and all that stuff, that's nice. But once again, you have to be diligent. You have to have less expenses. The same thing you should be doing anyhow. But you can earn a higher interest rate and not even be in it in the first place. But You would have some health insurance, a life insurance policy, but I would look up a different type, maybe term or something, because it'll be less. I have nothing against the velocity banking theory and how it works, but you have to be very, very disciplined over years. You just can't bust out, and you're not going to sit. Well, you could. You could say, "Here's $25,000 to start my policy," so then you have a cash value. But generally, that's still not going to save you in the long run. What I mean is that you still have to. The insurance policy, if you pass away, it has to pay out. So it acts like an insurance policy on one side, and then it can be a cash value type. But you got to check it out yourself. Study when you look at those things, you have to look how much you're putting in, not what you can take out, because the numbers, you have to put in real numbers. Don't get caught up with, oh well, see, if you had $100,000 in here, then you can borrow 30,000 and loan it out, and then people can pay you back, and you're your own bank. Well, see how long it's going to take you to get to 100,000. See how much you had to pay to get fees and things like that to get to 100,000, and still have coverage. That's where things start getting a little interesting. So again, uh, nothing wrong with it, but at this point, it depends on your age and a bunch of factors. What you can do right now in the next 1 year, 7 months is going to be off the charts. Like I said, there's a lot of opportunity because of the yo-yo effect with option income ETFs, such as the Yield Max Group, the Defiance Group, that gives you high dividend returns, or distributions, I should say. It's distributions in reality. And so if you can find a fine line between value of the stock versus the dividend, and the stock value could go down because it's not backed by the stock, it's more backed by the option income monies and fees and premium monies that are coming in. So therefore you win, right? So that's how it goes. Joe Nay is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday night live stream. Another investor is here. He's getting excited. He's having his delivery of his condo or villa in the DR. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to be in the game. Resident DR. So he's going to be chilling. He set it up perfectly, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you have to do. You have to do not be ignorant. Set it up. Set yourself up. He set himself up in another country. He says, I'm good. I'm going to be able to hang out over here. He bought a nice, inexpensive location to live in. He feels comfortable there, and that's all that matters when you live somewhere, is that you feel comfortable. So he's done the damn thing. And I know he was sitting there today listening to the sweet sounds of ting, ding, ding. I know. Dividend day every Friday. Joe Nay, his tagline is, what's good, everybody? How is everybody this evening? Hey, man, it's going good. I just smashed that like button. You gave it a one piece. I highly suggest you give it a one piece too, ladies and gentlemen. Show some support. Show some love. All right, is Doge still going to send out those checks they were talking about from all the money recovered from the fraud, waste, and abuse? Hold on, man. I got to get a drink. Hold on, man. You won't stop. Yeah, the guys looked at it and they found out there's no real fraud, waste, and abuse, that all those numbers were bogus. No checks coming, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know who thought checks were coming from a country that's $36 trillion in debt, that they were going to cut, what, 1,000,000 checks of $5,000? Hardly. How about 1,000,000 checks of $5,000? Hardly. How about 20 million checks of $5,000? Hardly. How about 100 million? You can make up whatever number you want. That's what they did. I need to buy some stocks on Robinhood. I thought you, yes, you do. You need to have a few brokerage accounts, because you never know when somebody's going to light up brokerage houses. Because again, brokerage companies, that's one of the areas that has a lot of money sitting there. So when things start hitting the fan for real, then brokerage accounts will be in danger. Banking accounts are in danger already, but brokerage accounts is the last bastion. They'll take the banks, your money at the bank first. And if you don't think that happens, I don't know where you guys have been, but all I know is in the 80s, they took Bank of America and Wells Fargo literally took money out of my account back then. We didn't have social media, so people didn't believe me. They were just like, nah, why would the bank take your money? Well, now, the day that you have social media, you can easily just Google and see how many people have their money stolen out of the bank. It cracks me up. America's not what you think it is, ladies and gentlemen. I keep telling you this. Keep telling you. And the guys doing the damage are not getting in trouble. Here we go again. Oh, wait. Safe Moon CEO found guilty of crypto fraud. Remember Safe Moon, ladies and gentlemen? Faces up to 45 years in prison. Wow. He's not getting out? The US Treasury just shocked Americans. Come on. That's not really. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I don't know what that is. 2,500, excuse me, 2,588. That's cool. Oh my God. Just what I was talking about. Thank you, Mr. Dividend. Just what we were talking about earlier about taxes and retirement. Holy smokes. This guy right here says his property tax was $15K. My property tax went from $15K to a life-altering $91K a year. Their home in Florida, which they purchased, oh, this is perfect, in 2002, just my perfect example. From Walter's father needed serious repairs. The walls were infested with termites. The roof was failing, but more than that, the house held deep emotional value. The late son had done the plumbing himself, and the home is set on the water, complete with a seawall and boat lift they'd added over the years. Oh, this is what's even worse about property. You upgrade the property and you pay more because that increased the value of your house. That's a devilish situation. You got to give credit to the United States allowing this. Dream home in 2021, Walter and Debbie decided to renovate with the future in mind. They fixed the roof, added a second story. This is what I'm talking about right here. Oh my God. Debbie, who had worked for a real estate attorney for nearly 25 years, anticipated that their property taxes might increase. But when the final tax bill arrived in 2023, after construction was complete, their taxes had skyrocketed from $15,000 a year to more than $90,000, 6 times their previous bill. Oof. Oh, and their home is now valued at 4.4 mil. Oof. Ooh, and they did all the hard work and the rehab, the innovation, spending their own hard money. Oh man, oh man. Woo! This is what we're coming to. I tried to tell you guys. I tried to tell you. You better quit playing around. Here we go. I'm putting the article in the chat room. Trying to tell y'all, quit playing around. Appreciate your wisdom. Thank you, AM Global, again. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for asking as well, because as a lot of people sometimes don't realize that this is a back and forth. People can ask questions. We have a room full of investors, business owners. People will help you. Just ask the questions if you need help. We have no problem with that. We have no problem. Just do it, ladies and gentlemen. Just do it. All right. Wow. Wow. How insulting. Yeah, we're going to spend our money to upgrade it. We're going to make sure we do it. And then they say, oh, well, it's worth $4 million. How about $91,000 a year for your taxes now? Whoa. That's sick right there, man. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. U.S. banks can now buy and sell customers. Oh, no. Hold on a second. Hold on. This better not be what it says. This is saying US banks can now buy and sell customers' crypto assets. What? Wait a minute. The OCC has also allowed banks to outsource crypto custody. Oh, no. Hell no. Oh, my God. This is crazy. This is getting. There's another way to steal your money. So here we go. Now you want to have crypto. And what are you going to do? You're going to have it with you know who. Bank of America. My phone has been vibrating, says Joe Nay, like crazy. I keep forgetting that dividend reinvestment is weekly. Exactly, Joe Nay. Exactly, man. I'm very, very happy about it myself. Can't be sad. They are still taking money. Exactly, Brian P. Can you believe this? And they're actually writing it in. I've met several people staying here at Jardines 3 and Airbnbs. Met two females from London last night, and they said they were here for 2 weeks. That's what I'm saying, though. They can be there for 2 weeks because it's only going to cost $600. This is, again, this is one of those things that when you buy right, the numbers work for you. That they were able to buy these. I don't even know what the two bedrooms were back in the day. Were they like 89 or 79 or something? Because one bedrooms were like 50, 53. So two bedrooms had to be 67 or 69 or 73. I don't even know. In Jardines 1, I'm referring to. But, or it could have been Jardines 3 too. I mean, but the point is, yeah, because it's cheap. Now, how are they going to get around? Did they have to get a rent a car? Did they have to, because I mean, yeah, they got to have a car if they're going to be there 2 weeks or some way to get around. They're going to do Uber. Uber's starting to get expensive over in the DR. They done up the fees. It's crazy. Wow. That's great, Joe Nay. That's great. The numbers for May won't be coming out for about 3 weeks. Florida housing market is crashing. Exactly. Exactly. That's very, very cool. All right. Brian P. Crazy. I know, man. I can't even believe this. I can't believe the U.S. banks have the Fed remove requirements for banks to notify it in advance of. Oh, no. This is wild. No wonder cryptos went on a roll. It's the Wild West. The United States doesn't even want to regulate anymore. Follows a similar directive issued in March, which rescinded the 2021 policy requiring banks to seek prior supervisory approval. Wow. A bank acting as custodian may engage a sub-custodian for cryptocurrency it holds on behalf of customers? Are you okay? Let me explain. Remember, I always talk about derivatives, ladies and gentlemen? The rich are doing it again. You understand, if I'm XYZ Bank, I am the custodian of your crypto. And I sit here and say, well, we have $1 billion in crypto in our custody. Can I get a $200 million loan against the crypto assets that we're holding? They're going to say, hell yes. Now, then they turn around, make another subsidy, another company, and then they say, well, we're going to transport over 500 million to this other business. They're going to be the sub custodian. You can see what's going to happen. And then they're also going to do some crazy manipulations, along with, if BTC drops from, let's call it, what is it now, 118 or something, 110? When it drops from there, if it dropped and went down to 75, these same companies are going to claim write-offs. This is diabolical. This is insane. The rich is going to get richer and you're helping them, because people are going to have their money with the banks when you should have it in your own wallet. You should not have it in no bank. You should have it in your own cold wallet. your own wallet. Do not put crypto, do not give these guys your money. Just like you shouldn't be giving your dollar bills either. Just saying. All right. Here we are. Tamara Larry's in the house. Another DR investor is here. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. Very nice to see you. Very happy to see you. Nice Jonay is what she's saying. That's right. Pay close attention to the post-crypto dinner that POTUS had. It's going to get nasty. I know. Elon Musk said he is not giving money for political purposes no more. No more primary threats. Lame duck president. Exactly. Exactly. There you go. Man, talk about somebody wasting like $300 million for no reason. I love it though. I love it. Just to get messed over. It's hilarious. I love it. Jonay, hurricane's coming. FEMA is gutted. Get some investments out of this country. Trust me. Exactly, Jonay. Bringing up the wise information on this Financial Friday Night live stream. He's exactly right. He's 100% right. He's 120% right. 1 year, 7 months is what you have, but there's going to be fallout. You already have fallout in the FEMA thing from the hurricanes in Missouri. Oh, man. And FEMA's nowhere around. I'm like, man, and hurricane season's going to be here, if not already here. It's coming, and it's going to be with a vengeance because, it's probably going to be a little hotter. The water's going to be warmer. They're going to have serious forces, Cat 5, Cat 4s. And people aren't even going to have insurance coverage because insurance companies have taken out the high risk individuals for the most part. So now all you're going to have is people are going to lose their livelihoods. They're going to lose their homes, cars, homes, any material objects washed away, no way to replace them. So now all them cheap places that people wanted to live in, they were cheap for a reason, and now they're really going to be cheap for a reason because you can't live in a devastation zone and think that you're going to rebuild because the government's not there to help you. Congratulations, Americans. You picked the right one. I'm being facetious. All right. Yeah, Jonay, thank you for bringing it. I mean, it's sad when you really start talking about things, how dire it is for a significant number of Americans, U.S. citizens, visa holders, people here coming for education, people here coming for work visas, people coming over here to, I mean, H-1B, visa holders. I mean, this is crazy. This is very, very bad. Yeah, and you have, oh man, I got Josh Hawley out there trying to get some help from FEMA. I'm like, dude, you're in a red state and they're not helping you. What do you think the rest of us have been saying this whole damn time? Oh man. So as you guys know what I've been saying, you live in a third world country. You just don't know it yet. But you're finding out right now. No social services to help you. No insurance coverages. I mean, this is bad, very bad. Teddy Roosevelt rolling over his FDR, sorry. FDR rolling over his grave after he gave the Social Security, the safety nets, tried to get people a little help, and damn, all it took was about 100 years, less than 100 years to try to roll it back. People should really study history and see what happened, what it was like when they didn't have, up prior to 1935, what people had to live with. There was nothing. You want to go to the doctor? Well, okay, you got to pay them. I mean, this is crazy. You want to keep money in your bank? Well, the bank's closed. Took people's money. Then after they took people's money, they said, give us your gold and silver. We need it. That's our United States government. You guys, man, you don't know where you live. So union busting in the 1900s. Unions are responsible for some of the things like child labor laws, some of the things like 40-hour work week, some of the things of why you even have any type of HR due to unions, not companies on their own free will. So now you have less than 5% of the population is even in a union. That's not good. That's why you have wages that aren't livable wages. So all these guys, I was talking with my daughter the other day. I said, you know what? I said, I used to tell people all the time. My boy Ron knows what I'm talking about because me and him used to hang out when we were younger. And all the guys want to be tough guys and all this and act like they do this and don't even own jack crap and don't own blocks, but want to try to act like they own the block and stuff like this. And I used to always be like, man, why you guys playing Hollywood out here? And they'd be like, what? Hollywood? I was like, yeah. If stuff hits the fan, you ain't about nothing. And see, if things get rough, where you going to be at? You just going to let the bad guys roll, right? And they're like, who's the bad guys? Because they're thinking they're the bad guys. I said, no, the dudes that own these buildings. The politicians. That's going to take your rights away. You're just going to let it happen, right? You ain't going to say nothing. You're not going to stop nobody either. So don't act like you're going to do something if somebody rolled up in here and with some cars, vans, weapons. You ain't going to be out there shooting it out, acting all big bag and bold. You're just over here picking on weak people. Sure enough, here it is. 40 years later, 30 years later. And like I said on the last live, people out here kidnapping people on the streets, and nobody's been shot yet for wearing around a fake vest, fake badge, fake all that stuff. And they're bounty hunters. No ID, no paperwork, no nothing. No identifications. They're just rounding people up and everybody's standing around taking video. I said, exactly. This is exactly what I expected. You guys weren't going to ever do But anyhow, this is why, again, as you get older and you want to protect your life, sometimes you have to say, well, let me find something outside the United States. I don't care if you're in Thailand. I don't care if you're in Vietnam. I don't care if you're even in China. Just don't go to North Korea. But I'm saying you won't be coming out. But the point is, you better find another location that you feel safe in. My friends are running around the world. I have a few friends right now running around the world looking for places to land, right? They went to Panama. They were thinking about Spain, but then Spain did a Uno reverso and said, oh, no, we're not going to allow Airbnbs. I'm like, oh, wow, is this for real? I don't know the extent of this situation, but they're getting adamant about this. So these places, Panama, Spain, Portugal, EU zone, all this stuff, and they're thinking I'll be able to, come back to the US and then I'll rent my place out and make money. And hold up, laws are changing all over the planet. And so that could possibly deter some people from investing in Spain now, because that's their whole point. They're trying to get the Airbnbs out, saying it's detrimental to their ecosystem. Okay, there you have it. So now what, ladies and gentlemen? You better find a spot. I've been saying this for 5+ years. So I've just been trying to direct people to spots that have high tourism. So then if you do want to stay in the States, you have the dual role of saying, okay, I'm going to be gone for 7-8 months and I'll rent it out. I'll make some money. Hopefully annual money. Hopefully it's enough money where you say, okay, great. I'm making $30,000 a year or $50,000 a year. That would be awesome, right? But where are you going to get that? It has to be in a high tourist location, right? All right, let's go. We're going to keep it rolling. Let me see if there's anything else that we need to talk about tonight. But that gold, silver, and precious metals, you're going to need it. You're going to need it, ladies and gentlemen. And oh, Mr. Dividend, let me see if there's something else that came up besides the banks being able to hold crypto assets. That means crypto is going to be straight up legal. So that's why there's a rise. Oh, wow. Listeria outbreak in California and Nevada. Wow. 15 million estate tax exemption proposed. Are you kidding me? They're just trying to give all the rich people having to pay nothing. Jeez. CFPB now protecting financial firms, ripping off consumers, even hiding consumer complaints and licensing, lying about FDIC. What? Oh my God. Okay, this is a consumer fraud. I guess it's Consumer Fraud and Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Um, Brady Williams, legal counsel, issued the following statement in connection with the CFPB's decision to rescind dozens of prior agency interpretive rules. Oh my God. They're allowing the criminals to continue to do whatever they want. An alarming move that threatens the integrity of consumer oversight. God, this is bad, man. God, taking away any safety net. So now consumers get ripped off. That basically, it's just not going to go. Third world country. Don't even, third world country. This is just getting bad, man. This is just getting bad. This is bad. Sad. All right. Third world country. It's going down. Get another spot. Get another spot. I put another one in there where you guys can go check this out too. Wow. No protection for consumers. The ripoffs continue. Jesus Christ. By the way, Brian P., thank you, Mr. Dividend PLTY. That's right, $7.04 per share for PLTY, and it's under $63 per share, which means over 10%, 11% in 1 month of dividends, and it gives dividends every month. Wow. Wow. So now, Brian P., I already know what's going to happen. That reinvestment on it, you're going to, for every 10 shares this month, every 10 shares, you get, every 10 shares of Pelletier, PLTY, you get $7. So $70 would have bought one share and a little over 1.1, 1.2 shares for every 10 shares you have. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, I'll have to check out the Treasury situation later. Yeah, State Farm policyholders see higher rates following emergency hike approval. The Press Democrat, that's in Cali. Press Democrat. Yeah, I know what that is. That's in the Bay. I went to high school in the Bay in Cali. Not really Bay like Oakland or San Francisco, but North Bay, I guess they would call it, kind of. High school there. And yes, I told you guys I used to play sports. So, yes, we were in this Press Democrat. We averaged 90 some points a game my senior year, which was a record at the time. I don't know what the record is now. No 3-point line. 2 points, all 2 points in 32 minutes a game. And this is with taking the Northern California crown. At the end of the year, we're number one. So, Press Democrat, State Farm, that means California. Wow. This is outrageous. Outrageous. Yep. North Bay Business Journal. Yep. It's the one. Press Democrat. I think I might, one of these days, I might have some paperwork. I might show some paperwork. I'll break out some paperwork. That would be cool. Some press clippings. I have press clippings here. All right. That's it for now, ladies and gentlemen, because this is getting bad. Think about Laos, Vietnam, Thailand, Caribbean islands, and how about South America? Yeah, Joe Nay, South America, man. You know, it's always volatile over there. You just never know what you're going to get. Venezuela, Colombia. I mean, it's kind of, you know, uh, Argentina. All these guys are liking the strong men. So It is what it is. But Caribbean islands, Thailand, Vietnam, Laos, yeah, that's all right. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with any of those recommendations, quite frankly, but I would do my homework if I'm going to go hang out in any of those spots. You again, I have a policy. My policy was if something happens, I can always get on a boat, right, to get to the Caribbean islands. I can't get on a boat to go to Laos, Thailand, Vietnam. I can't go to Asia. I can go to South America, but I damn sure would have to be uh, walking. I'm not walking through cartel land. That's for sure. You're gonna get hurt. You're gonna get hurt, especially you're looking pale, like you're out of place. You'll be one of those people that they kidnap and then tell your families, yeah, we need $50,000 to send you here. You know. Um. All right. I'm looking at the game. Looks like Indiana wants to smoke. I'm gonna give you guys something to think about. I'm out of here. I saw the Knicks win their semifinals game, and after they won the finals game, uh, MSG, I saw the stars and coming on the floor and celebrating, and I saw like the news going crazy. I saw people in the streets and the crowds and acting like they won a championship. Whenever a team does that, that means just like Minnesota did it like 2 years ago, these guys doing the same thing, they're gonna generally want something when they have no hardware. That's crazy, real crazy. I've never seen anything like this. Celebrating when you're not even in the finals, and you got to play another team that you're disrespecting by acting like, oh, no big deal, we won, we're in the finals, like you're going to bypass them. That puts a chip on the shoulder of the team you're going to play. That's sportsmanship. That's what's going to happen because if if I was playing against them, the same thing would have happened. I'd have been like, man, we're playing these dudes next week. What are they acting like they want something? Nah, we got something for them. This is crazy. So it's kind of wild. I'll never forget when we played against this team uh, that we played uh, that we were, our reputation preceded us, and then in the first quarter, it was one of these low output situations we had. It was rare, but 8 minutes, we're supposed to score probably almost 15 to 20 points in 8 minutes, right? But we didn't. We scored like 7 or 8. And one of the guys on their team, he says, as we're going to a timeout or something like that, and all like four of the five of us are in together in the key, and we're getting ready to walk to the bench, and one of their dudes goes, "Hey, I thought you guys could score." And we're like looking at him like, is this dude talking for real? I was like, oh man, that was the wrong thing to say. He should have let sleeping dogs lie. We all were like looking around like, oh, wait, hold on. We didn't score that much. But after that, it was over. He just woke up the sleeping dog for no reason. NBA isn't like it used to be. They just don't take it serious to me. Shoot threes, no defense. Exactly, Joe Nay. Same here. Same here. No defense, no nothing, man. I was watching the replay of the fourth quarter of the Knicks game, and I was watching the Minnesota OKC, and I'm just sitting there like they don't even run plays. They just have people just come down, try to do one-on-one, or they just pass it 2 or 3 times. Somebody launches a three. They don't even run a play. I'm like, NBA is so easy these days. I don't even understand. Just run plays because nobody plays defense. Nobody does anything, and you can take 3 steps or 4. So I'm like laughing. I was just sitting there like, wait a minute. No, I said, okay, they come down one-on-one, brick. The other team gets it. Comes down, the other team shoots a 3, brick. I'm like, damn, what kind of, this is wild. This is like street ball, but it's being considered the NBA. It's a joke in reality. And that's why their viewership is down, by the way. Makes sense. Post-retirement travel on the worldwide tour. You're damn right. I saw you over there in the EU zone, man. I don't know where you're at right now. I've been handling some biz in the last few days because my AC went out, man. Can you believe that? The motherboard went out, come to find out. And then it's a Linux system. So the motherboard cost $700. Yes, you heard me right. Over 700 for a motherboard that went out because it's a Linux. I was like, are you kidding me right now with this? Wow. Oh, and by the way, remember my home? I told you homes cost. This is nobody. Again, people don't keep a book going. Oh yeah. It costs $700 to do that. It costs $100 to have the guys come and trim the trees, do the lawn, do all that. You don't count none of that when you sell your house. You're like thinking it's oblivious to you that you spent this money. Just like your taxes, just like your insurance. You're just like, my house, I bought it for $400. It's now worth $800. I've been living here for 15 years. Yeah, and for 15 years you've been paying expenses that you don't even count. It cracks me up. It's a liability is what I'm getting at, ladies and gentlemen. Post-retirement travel. Very nice to see you once again, and welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday night live stream. He says, hello, everyone from Milan, Italy. You know what? If I'd have known you were going to be in Milan, Italy, I would have shown you one of my watches from Milan, Italy. At the time, it was special because it has a purple face inside. It's very simple, but it had the purple face, and people used to be like, purple? That's different. And now I got all these crazy, crazy stuff. But from Milan, Italy. Let's do this is his tagline this evening. Flying into Munich, Germany in 3 hours. The worldwide tour continues. Don't worry. We're keeping up with our investments. I know you when you got to the Wi-Fi zone. You got the bing, 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 bing. Because I know you got those Max ETFs. You've seen what happened with NVDY. You saw what happened with LVGY. You saw what happened with PLTY. Just holding those 3 alone at $7 a share, $1.97. I think the other one was $1 something too. That's pretty heavy. Pretty heavy, man. Pretty heavy. That's real heavy. That's at least $1,500 with labor. Exactly. Labor is more expensive than the part. Exactly. And guess what else? Because the home is an older home and they decided to put the heating AC unit underneath the house in the cooler area, they decided to make the crawl space where they put it 3.5 feet high. Yeah. Even though entrance area is probably 4.5 feet. And so they decided they built it on a little hill. So they built it here underneath the house. So it starts rising. So you go down. So you have to have knee pads on just to even be there after you have to crouch down. And if you're 6+ foot high and having to crouch down to 3.5 feet, that's a problem. So that means you have to have labor. So yes, there you go right there. Post-retirement travel knows the routine. He knows what's about to happen. That's exactly right, man. That's exactly right. The dudes were all too happy to say it's the panel. I was like, damn it. I was hoping it was something with the compressor or condenser or capacitor, because that means it didn't have to be under there. It's just to come back out with the little part that's only like 25, $30, put it in. No, can't be that easy. Jesus. No. But again, but again, these are the things that happen. All right, post retirement travel. I've been seeing you once again since he's here. Go sign up, hit his icon, subscribe to his YouTube channel. Then go over to Instagram and you'll see all of the wonderful places him and his wife have been going. Post retirement travel at Instagram. Stop struggling now at Instagram. Go sign up, subscribe, hit the bell, or sorry, that's on YouTube. Hit the heart and follow. All right. Go over there, show some love for him. He's out there doing the damn thing. Now, one thing even when I saw last week, I didn't see any drone footage, man. Did you bring the drone with you? I want to see about this drone footage. I haven't seen any yet. Or is it a no-fly zone in a lot of these countries? Although there's a lot of people in all these countries. Damn. So did Indiana win? Yes, Indiana took out New York 114-109 in the Garden. I guess they have their number. And Halliburton. Ah, man, the Kings had Halliburton, and I was so jacked when I was jacked up when they had him. I was like happy when they drafted him. I was like, yes, we got the point, we got the off, and now we got the mix. One could take over for the other when there's somebody needs to rest. I was like, oh, but he was a rookie, and the Kings trade him, and I was like, are you kidding? This is usual Kings, Sacramento Kings nonsense. They will not keep anybody that can ball. It's sickening. And they've been doing this for 20 years. Actually, they've been doing it ever since 1985. Quite frankly, when they arrived. But sad. Very sad, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so one down, one to go. Who's going to win tomorrow night? OKC or Minnesota? OKC leads 2-0. OKC was my team 3 years ago. Predicted 3 years it would take for their team to match. Looks like they're on the precipice of it, but can they beat Indiana? Because it looks like Indiana's about to take out the Knicks. Can they beat them, and can they beat Minnesota? Minnesota's game was weak this past game too. I don't know what they're doing. It's like nobody can play. Sad. All right, I'm going to have to get out of here. 1 hour, 52 minutes. So far, I have good news, I guess. The second party that's checking in has not called. No problems. So they're not going to play games with my second guest. Is that what's happening? Huh. It's almost 11, so it's 8 p.m. Uh, that's interesting. What's that? Okay, I'm pretty sure something could happen, but we'll see. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to wrap it up. Very nice to see you post retirement travel. Say hello to the wife, and glad you guys are having fun and being safe and being able to roll out, have fun, and still make money while you're doing it. Real estate investments, stock market investments. Gotta love it. Let's see. No, we didn't bring the drone on this tour. Too many rules here in Europe. Oh, so they do have the rules. Plus, my wife wanted to save space for gifts, of course. But we have so many pictures to post to Instagram next time. All right, I hear you. I was just curious. I was hoping you were able to bring them. So, but I know how it goes because, again, in the EU zone, you really don't want to have that much luggage because generally you get one for free if you fly around, and then the second one, you're going to get taxed. So you want to keep it to one per person. You don't really want to be rolling with two. So I understand entirely. like I said, guys, over in the EU zone, the first time I was over and went to Switzerland, and I'm sitting there at the airport, and I'm sitting there like 4 bags, 2 bags each, because it used to be on international flights, you could have 2 free bags. So we got like 4 bags, because I don't know when we're coming back. And then we're sitting down, walking through, and I was like, why does everybody have 1 bag? That's weird. Yeah, okay. As soon as I went to another country, I found out. They're like, sir, this is going to cost you like $60 for these extra bags. Extra bags? I only got 2 bags each person. I'm like, exactly. One is free. The other two is like at the time $60 or something. I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, no wonder everybody's got 1 bag around here. Oh, that was funny. Oh. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be out. All right, post retirement travel. Be safe, man. And I'm glad you're having the worldwide tour of your life. That is awesome, man. Awesome. So you're going to have to give us a little bit. Well, I don't know if you'll know on Monday. It's Memorial Day. So the Fallen Soldiers Day. So again, hopefully we'll see you on Monday and you can give us, or I'll just be going to your post retirement Instagram channel and go see what's been happening. I'll check out and see check out Milan and things like that. In fact, on Monday, to your honor, I'll break out the Milan watch because I actually have it with me because the wife's like, "You never wear it." I'll just take it. And again, it's a 30. It's probably a 40 millimeter. No, it's probably not even that. It's probably a 39. So that's why I was like, well, yeah, it's kind of like a woman's watch anyhow. so, but anyhow, it's here. So I have to bust it out for you from Milan, Italy. All right. Glad you're having fun, man. As life should be after you put in all your hard work and you have businesses coming where you have revenue coming in that we talk about here. You have stocks that give dividends. So you have money coming in that way. It's a beautiful thing. Pension after putting in hard work, retirement from another place. So did the damn thing, just like Joe Nay's been doing and a bunch of other people. So once again, thank you, everybody. I love you very much. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here. And that's why we have to have conversations and we have to let you know what's going, the good and the bad. But right now, the only good is you get your expenses down, you get your credit up, you make your disposable money, extra income that you have, invest it where you make money. That is the number one rule for 1 year, 7 months. Next week, it's going to be down to 1 year, 6 months. Man, time is flying by. And also, in about 10 days, be in Vegas land. Last time, didn't have time to roam around, and I don't think I'm going to be roaming around now because I'm pretty sure the weather is going to be damn near 95 to 100 in the month of June. So I'm not going to be outside, but I will have to bring the drone footage. So we'll see how it all goes. All right. So again, be safe out there this weekend because you never know. A lot of people are going through stress and people are getting laid off today. So you never know what that means. And that generally is going to make sure a lot of altercations are possible. So just be safe out there. And no matter what else, make sure that you always keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.